Alright, so what I have for you guys today is the ranking of cases 19 and 20. I apologize if I sound really bad right now. I have a pretty nasty cold, and I was coughing a lot last night, and it kind of killed my voice a bit. So I'm going to try and get through this if I can. In 8th and final place for case 19, we have Some Kind of Hate. This had some interesting ideas about a uh, a dead girl that was consumed by so much rage that kind of like Darth Maul, she survives in a way. And any wounds that she inflicts on herself at or post mortem end up plaguing her victims. So, like, if she slits her own throat, whoever her intended victim is will have their throat slit for no apparent reason. So it does some pretty interesting stuff with that, kind of Freddy Krueger-esque in a way, but instead of slicing them up herself, she slices herself, and it impacts her victims. In 7th place, we have Sin City 1. I watched Sin City 2 in 2024. I didn't know it was a sequel until I found this. So, a lot of this is in black and white with color every now and again. And the title right after this is similar to that type of dynamic, but lots of weird, violent things going on in this. Let's see here. In 6th place is Spirit. Again, occasionally there's color in this, but it's primarily in black and white. And this one's more of like a superhero type story, whereas City is more like a gangster story. But they have similar black and white aesthetics to them. And then in 5th place we have Shutter Island, and you find out that this one isn't what it seems at face value. By the end, there's a twist, and Leonardo DiCaprio and his police partner, they're both cops, are sent to an island to investigate a breakout in weird events that have been happening. It's like a prison island. And over the course of the movie, it's revealed slowly that DiCaprio's character was losing his mind and was imprisoned on the island the entire time. And it also has Mark Ruffalo, I believe, as the partner. And interesting stuff going on. In 4th place here, we have Sorority Row Servant Mortal. I'm not sure if this is the same as just regular Sorority Row, or if this is like a sequel. I would have to watch the two back to back to find out. But I enjoyed this movie. It did have a very similar dynamic to just regular Sorority Row, where it's a bunch of college girls getting slaughtered for a misdeed. And then in 3rd place we have Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I did not plan that plan this way. A 3 movie being in 3rd place. I didn't plan that. But Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is just as fun as the first two. It adds Knuckles into the mix. I think he was introduced in the second one, then had his own series, Knuckles the Echidna. I don't have the Knuckles series, but I do have all 3 Sonic movies now. I want to triple format all 3 movies and get like Blu-rays and DVDs for the Knuckles show. I think that would be fun. I I almost got the Knuckles show a while back, but it didn't end up working out because I had to put a few things back, and or quite a few things. Um, so yeah, our runner-up is 16 Candles. Some of the things in this are pretty dated, and one such thing is a boy ends up um, asking a girl in the movie. Uh, he wants to make his friends think that he made it all the way with her. Got a home run, if you know what I mean. And so he asks her for her panties. That's a bit dated because people don't do that anymore, but um, I thought it was still pretty funny. Um, and in first place, we have Stargate Universe. I brought up the first and last disc of the series. Or not the series, because there is a second season, but for the season. I haven't been able to find season 2 yet, but I'm keeping my eye out for it. And Stargate Universe it was my first introduction to the Stargate series or franchise. And I have a bunch of other Stargate properties, including the fifth and last season of Stargate Atlantis. So I gotta try and get the first 4 seasons before I can watch that one, which I think is pretty funny. I got the last season, and I was like, wow, okay. um, but yeah. Um, anyway, I'll be right back with another portion for case 20. I just need to reorganize my Word doc, little cheat sheet here, so I can be sure I place things where I actually want them to be placed in the ranking and not lose track of where I'm at. So yeah, I'll be right back with that. In the meantime, I'm just gonna hit pause here, and you won't even really notice that I'm gone because when it uploads, it'll just keep playing as though nothing happened. So yeah, there's about a 5 minute break, or not a 5 minute break, but a short break in between right now and when I start with case 20. So I'll be right back. Right, this portion is probably going to be quite a bit shorter because there's 5 titles to consider here. In fifth place, we have the Story of Perpetua. That's a Catholic story of some sort. In fourth place, we have Taylor Swift's Tortured Poets Department. This is a music album, not a movie, but I'm including it here because I listened to it for the first time this year. As I prepared to watch the Eras Tour final show on Disney Plus, which I would have loved to have been able to go to in person, but didn't work out that way. In third place, we have Tomorrow Drew, or whatever, however it's pronounced, I forget. But interesting story about a girl who had a honking big nose in the start of a story and got teased about it a lot. So she got plastic surgery to make it much smaller and more normal size. And then everyone was like, "Wow, who's this beautiful girl coming in here?" And it was her. Um, kind of a fun little story. That description doesn't really do it justice, per se. Um, our runner-up, we have 2 titles tied for first place here, but our runner-up is Taylor Swift Journey to Fearless. This is a documentary leading up to the Fearless album and Fearless tour. And it was kind of fun to get a glimpse into Taylor's inner workings with this from this era of her life. But in first place is both TED 1 and 2. These are about a talking teddy bear it's Mark Wahlberg's best friend, and they do a lot of bad stuff because it's rated R, like drugs and drink and whatnot. But yeah, um, I thought it was still pretty funny in a lot of areas because like this these scenarios are completely like wacky and bizarre. Um, and they just go for it. They also swear a lot, especially Ted himself, the teddy bear. He swears a lot, which you wouldn't think a teddy bear would swear, but he does. And yeah, lots of wacky stuff going on in those movies, like I said. But they're just wacky fun. I watched the original theatrical versions. I did not watch the unrated versions yet. I might do that later this year, so they could show up in another ranking, just like as the two of them, based on theatrical versus unrated. Um, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. But that is it for this video. Sorry if I've been coughing and stuffing a lot in this. That's kind of gross, but I want to keep up with putting out videos every so often, so to keep people watching my stuff and give them something to enjoy hearing. Although I'm not sure how well they're going to enjoy hearing me cough and snuffle and being all sick and whatnot. Sound like I have a frog in my throat. But anyway, hopefully, all that aside, you do enjoy this video. And if you do, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And if I'm still feeling this awful tomorrow, I might not do the video for cases 21 and 22, or I just might tough it out and do that, because then I'll be able to sort the rest of my collection and enter case 23. When I sort my discs, I like to pretend like it's a transference of like time energy, kind of like temporal energy from time travel stories or Loki or whatever. So as it stands, case 23 would not be used to having any temporal power in there, or temporal energy, and so I gonna try and put things in there kind of a little slowly, so it has a chance to get used to and absorb the temporal energy that is going into it. I think that's just something kind of fun to have a little make-believe session with my sorting there. There's a look into the mind of Isaac when he's sorting his movies. It becomes a game of transferring energy, and one case will lose a lot of energy, and another one will gain it, depending on if a show and like a bunch of its seasons leave one case and go into another. So yeah, it's pretty fun and creative to do something like that. I also have a bunch of sorting that I need to do for like the actual hard cases, individual DVD cases for things. I moved stuff off of one shelf to try and make room for doing that, but I decided I didn't want to do it last night because when I moved the stuff around like that, it was already a little bit after midnight, like 12:10 or something like that. And I took some NyQuil at like 1:45 in the morning, and so I didn't even get up until after 12:30 this morning, or this afternoon. So I've only been up for about almost 3 hours, because it's about 3:30 almost. And yeah, that's what's been going on. I'm trying to do a bit better at watching just new stuff lately. Last night I watched Ballerina from the World of John Wick. It had a lot of really good explosion scenes in there. and like flamethrower action and whatnot instead of just gunplay and whatnot. And there was like swords and ice skates being used as weapons, and wow, it was so cool. I really enjoyed that. Um, it is kind of like John Wick 3.5 because John Wick is a character in it at a couple of different segments in the movie, including near the final boss fight type situation. Um, so it's kind of John Wick 3.5, but he isn't the main character of the story. He's a side character that comes in and helps out or does things here and there. I thought he was just going to be a quick little cameo in the beginning, and so when I was watching it, I was like, "Oh, he's turned up again for the final battle. What's going on here?" And it was so cool. Such a good movie. Thoroughly enjoyed it. But I'll be talking more about that later in a different video. Probably when I do a John Wick ranking because now I've seen all 4 John Wick movies. Of course, I'll have to revisit them because I don't remember there being that many explosions in the rest of the franchise. There were lots of grenades going off. Lots of grenades. So many. Um, but yeah. And the flamethrower stuff was awesome. Um, just if you haven't checked out Ballerina from the world of John Wick, definitely check it out if pulse pounding action adventures are your style or your up your alley. Definitely do yourself a favor and check out Ballerina by the or from the world of John Wick. It sounds a lot girlier than it actually is because of the word ballerina, but it has just as much action and awesome moments as the John Wick series, the core side of things, the John Wick chapters 1 through 4. It has all the action. Uh, I would argue maybe even more action with all those explosions, but yeah, definitely check out Ballerina if you haven't already. And if you have checked it out already, revisit it. It's that good. Check it out again. But yeah, anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Keep talking movies too much because I definitely will.